the Fauna Shaman decks were in before, and they do a lot of really interesting work. And the toolbox nature of it is just really, really powerful. And some of them aren't even Fauna Shaman decks.
Well, on the subject, it looks like we have a twin pod mirror match right here. Dan Jordan is going to be playing against Brandon Lough, I believe is the name. And the lists look pretty similar. Let's see, just blue, red, green, birthing pod, splinter twin. Dan has more splinter twins. He's got Spellskites in the main. He's got Ouroboros. He seems better set up for the mirror. This other list, on the other hand, is more oriented to the acidic slide Frostite and backup plan. It has Nest Invader, and yeah, but they're both these sort of rug twin decks, you know, filtering twins, pods, cobras, birds.
I would say if you look at this list, right, if you want to, Brandon Lough's list is very similar in a lot of its shell to, excuse me, to the Blue Manji list with its mana disruption pod, because it has Nest Invader Lotus Cobra, and it replaces Fauna Shaman with Birthing Pod, and then just pushes in Splinter Twin. Now the Preordains actually were very briefly in that old Fauna Shaman deck, but like it was replaced eventually by Holomar Depths. It actually looks very similar to that with Deceiver and Splinter Twin pushed in there. I mean, it's got a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah, I like the acidic slime plan. I have to say that plan looks really strong.
I mean, a lot of the matches you play with that deck is turn 3 slime, and then you go turn 3 slime and the game ends.
It's going to be interesting to see who has the edge. You know, on one hand, Dan has the better ability to find Splinter Twin, find the combo, and his Spellskite. But this other deck, you know, it's a bit more explosive. It might just race, and the LD plan could be very legitimate in this matchup.
Well, particularly when you're talking about matchups in which Splinter Twin is one of the ways that you end up pushing over somebody, and if they attack your red mana, it can be really hard. I mean, a lot of the mana is going to come into play tapped. Copperline Gorge, if you're casting a Splinter Twin, is tapped. Yeah. Raging Ravine is always tapped.
Dan does not have Lotus Cobras.
Yeah.
That is a huge problem there for that. Yeah, so it should be interesting to see which one ends up pulling ahead here. The main deck Spellskites mean that Brandon's probably going to be even more so, and Ouroboros, more so on the acidic slime plan, but that might just be enough.
You know, I think that Brandon's going to win. I think this is going to be actually very, very similar to last year when you would see Rug or Bug versus Black Blue, which is to say they both have things that they're doing that are ultimately similar, but one of the decks is just ahead on mana.
Yeah, that's reasonable. I think that the other pod deck has the same kind of thing, and I think I don't know if I agree with that, because I think it's a little different without trying to get the 6 for Titans. I think that, I don't know, we'll have to see.
Well, I mean, with the Rug versus the Black Blue from back then, right?
Right.
Titans were one thing you were both trying to get to, but the difference is that the Rug decks weren't doing a mana denial plan. So, because this deck is doing an actual mana denial plan, it understandably the mark is the 4 mana mark instead. But it can actually stop that. You know what I mean? It can stop you from getting to 4 as easily.
The Cobra Nest Invader, or the Bird's Nest Invader, just Cobra draws.
Now, Dan Jordan here on the right, veteran of the Star City Games Open Series, numerous championships under his belt.
Numerous? He has 2?
I believe he has, I think he has 2. I'll have to check.
We'll take a look. He has at least 1 with Rug, which we were talking about.
Yeah.
And Brandon on the left. Both players looking at their openers. Dan chooses to keep. Looks like he's on the play.
Round number 6 out of 9. Good luck. You may begin round 6. Fight to the death.
Brandon considering his hand. Decides to keep as well. Dan leads on a Raging Ravine. Looks like Brandon's going to match him. Nope. Birds of Paradise. Dan fetches with a Scalding Tarn, getting an island. Dan Jordan top-ended the Star City Invitational this last one, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So Dan Jordan will preordain. putting them both on the bottom.
Okay, he's got
Pass the turn.
He's got 3 open wins.
Rug, and Callblade. Yeah, I forgot about the Callblade one.
Number 2. Please report to side of the stage.
If you want to drop below his first places, you can get a lot of high finishes from him
Yeah.
in Star City Games events. We have the classic turn 2 Lotus Cobra into something good, which in this case is another Lotus Cobra. Next turn, Brandon can make 8 mana.
Looks like he's just gonna make 5. It looks like he has a Raging Ravine. That's it. But if he has an untapped land, it looks like a Frost Titan might be coming. Oh, Deceiver Exarch on upkeep.
Slows
Tapping
it down
down
to
birds.
between 4 and 7 mana, depending.
Brandon has a Preordain. Probably debating over what the best line is, given that Dan Jordan's representing double red and a lethal Deceiver Exarch Splinter Twin next turn.
Right. I do think I see a Deceiver in Brandon's hand.
But I don't think he can cast it this
Right.
turn at a reasonable time. He can cast it on his main phase, but that's not when you want
That's
it.
not good enough.
So he's got another Cobra, a Deceiver Exarch, a Preordain, and a Raging Ravine. And let's take a look at this list. Yeah, I don't think any of these cards interacts with him dying the next
Absolutely.
turn. So I think he just has to play a Cobra, or he probably wants to Landfall, Preordain, play a Cobra this turn. Or Landfall, Preordain. Just Landfall, Preordain, see whether he wants to play Cobra or Exarch for lethal next turn, and just pass and hope he doesn't die. You know, Dan has only cantrip once, so the odds of him dying aren't necessarily 100%.
And to also pay a note, there are only, let me think here. Actually, Dan is playing the full 4 Splinter Twins. I was going to say 3 Splinter Twins, but no, Dan is playing the full 4.
Brandon looks at a pair of cards. Looks like Preordain and something else off his first Preordain.
Come on. What are we going to see? Come on, Brandon, give it to us. Show us.
Preordain and one to the bottom. Probably drawing the other Preordain just so he can cast it. Yep. Ship the irrelevant spell. Cast the other Preordain. Probably going to cast another Cobra this turn. Actually, no. He might be thinking about whether he wants a Preordain or cast the Exarch this turn so that he can have the twin combo next turn.
I like the Exarch play.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he can Exarch, untap. Actually, none of those make blue. So,
Well, he's got the bird, so he can...
untap the bird and cast Preordain.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. You can do that this turn. That's true. Looks like a...
I see a fetch land there.
I think you just ship both of them, though. I think you're looking for a twin at this point.
What is Brandon's hand again?
He's got a Frost Titan.
Frost Titan is actually pretty significant.
That does lock out the twin the Exarch that's in play from twinning.
So as long as Dan Jordan doesn't win, Brandon's going to have a very powerful turn next turn. And there's the win.
Okay. As long as he does not do exactly that.
Brandon's like, well, I had all these, still lost. It's not the usual reason you say still had all these.
Okay, so move to game 2. Brandon has Spellskite, Lightning Bolt, Obstinate Baloth, Nature's Claim, and Arc Trail.
Okay.
I can see Arc Trail being reasonable. If he doesn't know that Dan's on Overgrown Battlement, I can see him boarding that in. Just Cobras and birds, usually. Spellskite, I can
Backwards. That's Dan Jordan's sideboard.
Yeah, no, Brandon has Arc Trail
Oh, okay. I thought you were
Dan
saying.
Jordan's Cobras.
Okay, there we go.
He's going to assume Cobras and Birds so he can board an Arc Trail, but it's not good against Dan Jordan because of Battle. I can see that coming in. I can see Lightning Bolt coming in for similar reasons. Spellskite, I can see coming in, and Nature's Claim. There's a lot of cards. What does he not want?
If I were Brandon Lough, I would board in 4 Spellskites straight up.
Okay.
I would board in 4 Nature's Claims straight up. And then I would not board in any Lightning Bolts. I would not board in Baloth. And I don't think I would bother boarding in Arc Trail unless I get evidence that shows... Actually, no, Arc Trail might not be bad. If he knows Dan Jordan is a Splinter Pod...
Yeah, well, he just sees, like, Rug Twin, so I don't really see... Like, that's typically Pod nowadays, right? Judge says life totals were 19 to negative 44,980. Game 1 to Dan.
Fair enough. But that if we're going to board in 10 cards, right, what are the 10 cards we would drop? And, I mean, you board out the 2 Obstinate Balos and the Thrun. And then you have to actually decide to change the nature of your deck a little bit if you want to board in that much.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, I probably don't want all of those.
Yeah.
But I think you definitely want the Nature's Claims, all of them, for pods and twins. Both of those are game enders.
On the other side of the board, Dan Jordan, I would not be surprised if he brings in Pyroclasms.
Yeah, he did see Cobras and Birds.
Yeah. And,
I can see the Spellskite coming in. I can see the Silvark Replica, Nature's Claim, and Mana Leak. Maybe even Tuk Scrapper if he's worried about pods. But I don't know if he saw evidence of pod. I mean, again, we're just saying, do we know that Rug means Rug Pod, Rug Twin?
Right, exactly. And the question is, these guys are now in the middle of round 6, and they, at least Dan Jordan has been under the lights once already. But if they have not been under the lights very much, they have floated to the top of the standings. It's very possible they sat next to each other and maybe are like, hey, I see what you're playing, so I know what you've got in your deck roughly.
Yep. If you're Dan, I think you board out... Well, the Tuk for sure is not very good.
I mean, well, Tuk can,
nah.
he can Birthing Pod it to kill the
But
opponent's Birthing Pod.
Tuk the Explorer?
It's Tuk Scrapper.
I'm talking about the Tuk in his main deck.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Different
sorry.
pages, different Tuk.
2 Tuk-Tuks.
Yeah. What a surprise. And Inferno Titan I don't think is very good in this matchup either. I really like Phantasmal Image. I think that if you have it in your hand, copying their Cobra is insane.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna bet that Dan Jordan's gonna keep an Inferno Titan because he's an old Rug player and he likes that card a lot. I think he's gonna keep it.
Well, I mean, he has to bring in the Nature's Claims. Has to.
I think he'll take out Frost Titan.
Yeah, I believe that.
I think he'll take out.
Let's see.
Yeah, I think he'll take out. God, it's really hard to find room to take things out unless you want to do some changing. I think Tuk the Explorer is worth taking out. That's only 2 slots.
Yeah, maybe a Solemn.
Let's pretend that you're correct and he takes out Inferno Titan as well. That's only 3 slots.
Well, you can take out a Solemn. You don't want all of them. They tap you out in a matchup where you don't really want to. So that's 4, and that's bringing in a Spellskite, 2 Nature's Claims, and a Silvark Replica. That's fair. Might want Mana Leak, but who knows?
Mana Leak is really schizophrenic against Lotus Cobra decks.
Yes, we were talking about this earlier. That is true. This event here, though, has really showcased the power of the Splinter Twin combo. We've seen turn 3 kills, turn 4 kills.
Absolutely.
Just like, you know, if you don't have it, you can just die.
I forget who I was talking to about this, but I want to say it was Larry Swayze, and he was talking about Splinter Twin of some variety, and how he had decided that he is on Splinter Twin for a long while now because he would just get torn apart by his opponent and then just top deck victory.
Yeah.
And like obviously Dan didn't top deck a victory there, but just being able to have this 2-card combo win is pretty nuts.
Just easy mode is what you're talking about.
I got a little note from Kyle Rose. Kyle Rose apparently is going to be playing at the Invitational. He won an IQ a few weeks back, and he's back in the game.
Oh, wow.
So,
bringing back the old school.
Now I don't know if Kyle Rose already had this technology, but way back in the day when Waylay was a ball lightning effect and no one knew about it, it was accidentally leaked by one of the people that we were playing with, a certain Mike Flores, where suddenly everybody knew about it.
Mike Flores? As opposed to the other Mike Flores?
Yeah. And, well, it was that Mike Flores. And suddenly everybody knew about it. And the next day, Kyle Rose, white weenie with Waylay, wins U.S. Nationals. But I don't think he had the Waylays before it was leaked.
So Brandon leads on...
Raging Ravines on all sides. I can't beat that Kyle Rose. I hope that I'm not playing in the Invitational because I would play against him round 2 and he would get me.
So Brandon
Lotus Cobra.
Lotus Cobra.
Dan says go.
You right, he lost an Inferno Titan. I think so.
He loves that card.
That looks like an Inferno Titan in his hand.
It's sort of like one of those cards that keeps on hugging him and giving him love, and he's like, I'm not going to ever abandon you, Inferno Titan.
No matter what you do.
Scalding Tarn makes it for 5 mana for Brandon Lough. The unanswered Lotus Cobra really showing some power.
It might be a Splinter Twin, but I think it's an Inferno Titan.
I hope it's an Inferno Titan. That would be sweet.
I would enjoy that as well.
Acidic Slime. Show me the leak, or else be in real trouble.
Ooh. Very far from an Inferno Titan now. I think my favorite part of this whole interaction is actually that that you can Splinter Twin up your Acidic Slime and just demolish people with it.
That is... I played against that the other day, and obviously it's something that people have been doing for a few weeks, if not months at this point. It is the most frustrating thing in the world.
Yeah, kill your land. They printed that card, right? The Spell Shaper that was a Stone Rain? Yeah, why would they ever do that? It's on one card. Like, we built it ourselves that it's so good. There's a Spell Skite a little too late.
And right now, I mean, 2 mana versus the potential for 6 mana.
Yep.
He does not have it though. Looks like it's just gonna be 3. Maybe a Phyrexian Metamorph.
Birthing
Pod, not bad.
Ooh. Nope. There's a fetch land. Yep.
Boing. Boing.
Oh, this is a Frost Titan. Yeah, this is probably a Frost Titan. Brandon dropping to 16. Did he even need to fetch? Why not just activate the pod, sack the Acidic Slime, and get...
I mean, he might do more than just activate the pod, right?
Yeah, true. Brandon's deck does not have Phantasmal Image, which is a card I've been very impressed with in his deck so far.
I love Phantasmal Image. My versions of decks that are Fwana Shaman and Birthing Pod decks always have at least one, and sometimes have more.
Okay, so Brandon keeps the cards on top off of Preordain. Still has 1 floating. Gonna use the 2... Jam this Acidic Slime and upgrade it to Frost Titan. Looks like, yep.
I wouldn't have minded an attack with that slime first.
Yeah, that's true. Missed 2 damage. Dan letting Brandon choose the targets of Spellskite, probably.
And, wow.
Oh, wow. Dan let that happen.
That's shocking.
More Spellskite.
I love Brandon's position here.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know what could go wrong for this to...
Plus, I think he drew a Splinter Twin, which...
Oh, you're kidding.
Like, I think he had I think that's one of the cards that he pondered Preordain into. He might have left it on top and not drawn it. But I thought that he put it into his hand so that... Nope, just an Acidic Slime.
Just. I will target your island.
Targeting Copperline Gorge.
That works. I will target your Copperline Gorge then.
I think you just tap the Spellskite.
I still like hitting the land and making his opponent do something about it.
I was going to go for the kill, but that's also fair.
The kill's already there.
Fair enough.
Just takes a couple of turns.
I guess if you tap the Spellskite, they just can make it tapped again, so...
These are, I would say, 2 very lopsided games.
Yeah. I forgot we had a first game for a minute.
Yeah. It's a quote-unquote free Preordain off of his Lotus Cobra from a forest.
Looks like it's just drawing another one.
And there we go. Oh, drew this card. I'll play shuffly with my cards so you don't know that I drew the Preordain. Okay. Looks like another Preordain, or is I misseeing that? Bottom.
Cards that weren't good enough. Some blue cards. Probably a Seagate Oracle.
Flip. 1, 2. Get rid of you, Acidic Slime. Get a 6.
Another Frost Titan.
Yeah, he does have 2 Frosties. And what will I target?
Probably Silvok Replica.
I hit the land again. I love killing that land. Make him do the work.
Yeah, I think it's lethal if he hits Silvok Replica though. Yeah, it's lethal because he taps the replica.
Right,
yeah, pays 2 to the spell.
You're totally
no,
correct.
you're right. Never mind, because he just pays 2 twice to the spell kite and goes to 2. Never mind. I missed. Yeah, there we go. That's what it is. I missed something there. Would have been at lethal if there had been that acidic slime attack though.
Right.
Dan continuing to let the lands get locked down.
What can Dan do to get out of this problem? I actually think there are no outs from this position.
I think there's some weird chains involving poor choice of targets with Frost Titan and Deceiver Exarch that might lead to... No, he's just dead. Against the second Frost Titan, just dead.
Yeah.
Oh, another Birthing Pod. That's cute.
Or is that a Metamorph? It's a Birthing Pod, okay.
I've been informed he does have the art of punching the judge.
Yeah, that's true. If Brandon punches the judge, he will lose. Okay. Good point.
And rapidly going to game 3.
Whoa. Rick. Old school stuff. So now, they definitely both know what each other... the contents enough of each other's deck to have a clear read.
Mm-hmm.
Will we see any further sideboarding?
I don't know.
I'm
there's no way that Silvok Replica's in a non-pod deck, and there's no way that the Deceiver Exarch's in a non-twin deck. So they both know it's the mirror. So I don't know if there's going to be a huge change in boarding. They may have just already known. Just been like, yeah, cool, mirror.
You can see our table judge looks like Charlotte Sable, sitting off to the side. We have our opponents here, our competitors, both branded. One with a comic shop and the other one with Full Tilt.
Yeah. Dan Jordan wears that everywhere.
Yep. And we might have a time check being asked of the judge, but...
Whoa, Dungrove Elder is X1 right now.
Now, if you remember, Kyler, who we featured in round 3, he is currently X1, and he was playing a deck that we were calling a mid-range green that looked kind of like a homebrew. Well, definitely a homebrew, but I think it's a rough-looking deck, but he's X1. I think that means he's undefeated except for that feature match we saw.
Yeah.
The deck has definitely got a lot of weapons. Like, Dungrove Elder is...
Good.
Dungrove Elder is just a really powerful card.
Yeah, it's very large. I think that John Medina may have been on the right side of that argument. So Kyler apparently beast within 3 lands game 2 to keep his opponent from doing basically anything.
Did he beast within his opponent's lands or his own lands?
His opponent's lands. Beast within you and you and you.
I think
LD is making a comeback, okay?
The funny thing is that I'm so used to LD having being hit this unfair level. It's like destroy your land and take 2 damage.
Molten Rain.
Right?
Oh gosh, Molten Rain.
Or like destroy your land or your artifact.
To be fair, I did play Destroy Your Land, take 2 damage at the last Pro Tour.
Which one is that?
Melt Terrain.
Melt Terrain.
It won me a match.
That's funny. Yeah, I was definitely doing some testing with Roiling Terrain, which that one's a spicy meatball.
Yeah, when you get into killing all their lands, oh yeah.
You don't even have to kill very many because of the fetch lands. You can just be like,
oh yeah, that was in Zendikar.
Yeah, you're like, kill your land and kill your Jace.
Yeah, the rug decks did that for a while.
Yeah.
I remember.
Ruben-
Travis Wu did that for a
That's
while.
right. Ruben Bressler is like nodding to the side. I love some roiling terrain, he says.
Listen, Magnivore is still one of my favorite all-time standard decks. Like, people hate LD. I love
LD.
LD
I
is
love
fun.
LD.
Like, you don't. It's especially fun because you don't get to do it that often nowadays.
I love LD because it makes your opponent not have fun. And that is my favorite kind of Magic.
The kind where opponents stop playing Magic.
Oh my god. You know, Stasis, I tell you, if Gush ever gets unbanned in Legacy, I will be breaking out Stasis.
I've seen Stasis once or twice before. It is not fun.
It's fun to play.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone have fun playing against Stasis. Ever.
That's exactly why you play it. I mean, if your opponent hates themselves for playing Magic, I mean, that's the best place where your opponent's like, I hate this game. Now we wait for the shuffle to finish. And our opening hands. Oh, Dan Jordan getting a little excited. Ready to play that card he's got in his hands.
Dan Jordan on the play.
Let's see.
Both keeping. Raging Ravine.
Raging Ravine versus Raging Ravine. It's going to be 3 games in a row, I think.
There was a Birds of Paradise game 1.
Fair enough. Good point. 2 games in a row. There we go.
Looks like Dan has a Splinter Twin. I can't. He's flipping his cards pretty fast. Preordain? That's a Preordain.
Come on, Dan. Let us see.
Yeah, he's debating between Battlement and Preordain this turn.
Battlement would be my play. There we go.
Yep. Trying to play quickly for time, I'm assuming. I don't know exactly how much time is left in the round here, but...
Preordain from Brandon. This is not what he wants to be doing on his turn, too.
Two
with any
lands.
luck, he'll follow up with a Bird of Paradise. For him, I mean, any luck.
Yeah. Looks like Dan has the full combo. Looks like Brandon chose to draw an Exarch. Looks like they both have the combo. Well, this is going to be fast.
Yes.
There's
there could be
Inferno
Nature's...
Titan right there.
There could be...
right there.
I tell you, he loves that card. It's never going to get sideboarded out.
Nope.
Not in any matchup. If you ever see Dan Jordan sideboarding out an Inferno Titan, I mean, I think that maybe he got hit in the head or something like that.
Upkeep Deceiver Exarch.
Nice. Tapping probably... Actually, this is an interesting call because you've got Nature's Claim to worry about, and you've got things like Mana Leak to worry about.
I think you want to target that one. I think Mana Leak's pretty non-standard, so... Unless I'm maybe missing what the Aussie Nats list had, but... I know in the older builds there was none. So he draws...
Brandon here needs something good, or else it's over.
Dan does not have the second red source, though.
That's a good point.
So he has to draw Copperline Gorge. He's got 4...
Dan drops,
5,
say,
6,
Misty Rainforest.
7, 8, 9. He's got 9 outs.
Cracks it immediately.
Or Brandon cracks Misty Rainforest.
He could lay a Spell Skite, for example, and delay the potential kill by a turn. I mean, and again, remember, Dan Jordan does not have the land to cast the finish of the combo.
This is interesting.
Yeah, I would feel uncomfortable casting anything that was not a Spell Skite right now.
Yeah. Maybe you just die. Who knows?
It looks like a Lotus Cobra?
He's got a Nature's Claim, it looks like, maybe?
Oh, he says go. Okay. Now there, I don't like this. Having the Misty Rainforest is better than having the Forest. And he goes attack for 1. There we go.
Good beats. Good beats.
In a mere 18 more turns, Brandon could be dead.
Yeah. There's another Exarch in his hand. The clock speeds up pretty.
Doubles the clock.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just simple math.
I don't know if I like the upkeep on the Dan Jordan's part. I think you want to make Brandon...
Upkeep. He does it again.
I don't like that. I really just... I think you just want to save them for the end step. You know, your spells don't... Your misbind clicks don't have provoke or whatever it is BB says. Just let them make their plays, tap the land that they have, and then kill them.
And Brandon cracks it immediately. The Scalding Tarn's getting perhaps an island, perhaps a mountain. We'll
Probably
see.
a mountain, yep.
Now he's got double red.
Dan Jordan's stuck on lands here. A couple Deceiver Exarchs,
Did
but
you say
not much
that you
else.
saw a Nature's Claim in Brandon's hand?
I thought I did. I think he has Exarch Twin Nature's Claim, but there's a Frost Titan for sure.
During Brandon's upkeep, Brandon could tap that Raging Ravine. Oh boy.
Just pass it. Oh.
Upkeep.
Oh, upkeep back to you.
Taps the Raging Ravine.
Dan draws another Exarch, but does not have anything to... Yeah, it does not look like he has any real follow-up here.
Dan Jordan is playing 24 land and then 6
Oh,
blue search.
He drew a
so-
forest. There we go.
Oh, that's a good forest.
This is
That's
Deceiver
a
Exarch
classic.
beatdown. Brandon goes to 15.
Now this is a moment where we get to find out what kind of player Brandon is. Do you have an answer?
I would like to respond and tap your Exarch. Gives Dan one more turn to have it.
And is Brandon's untapped land a forest? Is that
Yes.
correct? Okay, good. Dan Jordan untaps. Still does not have a second red source. He says go. Dan Jordan with no Nature's Claim. And Brandon still had this.
And I believe that knocks Dan Jordan to 4-2 out of the event, correct? Or out of the top 8 contention? He lost to Chris earlier,
That's correct. That does knock him to X2.
which is likely out of the top 8 at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially because we were so close to the cutoff for an extra round, I believe.
Okay. So welcome back. This is Adrian Sullivan here with Ari Lax, the Star City Games live here in Pittsburgh. We have, pardon me, we're gonna move it so slightly over. We have just finished round 6 with Dan Jordan, our veteran here, 3 wins of the Star City Games Opens, being defeated by
Twin pod in a twin